The Lexus RX has been the luxury brand's most successful vehicle, with more than 1 million sold globally since the inception of the nameplate. But frankly, it hasn't been Lexus's most exciting car. It's loaded with kit and value to get away with rather boring looks. This new 4th generation RX, however, hopes to change all of that. Of course, there was a time when the biggest challenge facing Lexus was the perception that it was little more than a fancy Toyota. Separate dealerships, meticulous engineering, and an ever stronger corporate identity have helped to elevate the brand into the premium category. Today, it's considered a worthy, if slightly left-of-centre alternative to the luxury brands. More recently, a more progressive design language has served to underline the brand's individuality. The Lexus design language has become increasingly bolder over time, and the almost concept car styling of this RX350 is a good case in point. It has this massive spindle grille, very sculpted surfaces, and the overall effect is certainly individual. It's a vehicle that attracts attention, but for all the right reasons. The shape is commanding and even menacing, with a high waistline and comparatively narrow glass aperture endowing the big SUV with a certain Darth Vader aggression. Things get a little fussy at the C-pillar, and some of the creases and chromework could be considered over the top, but the overall impression is cohesive, individual and handsome. At 4.9 meters long and 1.9 meters wide, the RX is bigger than its predecessor. Even its 20-inch wheels seem a little lost in those cavernous wheel arches. Nevertheless, the proportions are convincing, while the raised stance and 200mm ground clearance underpin the RX's all-terrain capabilities. Inside, however, it's all about comfort and luxury. For the most, the cabin of the RX350 is a big step forward. Of course, luxury and quality have always been Lexus hallmarks, and this vehicle is no different. But from an ergonomic point of view, there are massive improvements, including the use of that very large color screen. One thing though, the funny mouse device you need to navigate through the menus is still a fussy thing. There's plenty of space, front and rear, and the ambiance is exclusive with top-notch materials and finishes, including a laser-cut ornamentation finish for the center console, which is usually reserved for fancy pianos. Equipment levels are full house, and that also goes for the safety package, which features no less than 10 airbags and a host of active assistance systems. The boot could be bigger though. The raised cargo bay floor robs it of luggage space due to the big spare wheel. At least the split rear seat folds down to create a bigger cargo area if required. This latest RX350 sticks to the same 3.5-litre V6 engine formula as its predecessor, but it has more power and more torque. Maximum power now 221 kilowatt, torque peaks at 370 newton meters, and the gearbox and 8-speed automatic driving, all 4 wheels. The all-wheel drive system features intelligent torque control that interprets vehicle speed, steering and throttle angles, and yaw rate to determine the split of power between the front and rear axles. During normal cruising, the system feeds the front wheels only to optimize fuel economy, but off the road or in the twisties, power to all 4 wheels benefits traction and composure. However, there's no low range, underlining the RX's soft roader status. In line with its premium positioning, the Lexus serves up a driving experience that's seamless and effortless. The ride is nice and supple without becoming too wafty, and in fact there's a fair amount of response from the engine as well. The steering could be a bit more precise, but I suppose you wouldn't expect that from a luxury vehicle like this, and that V6 engine, as much as it has enough power, gets a little bit raucous once you move into the red line. Considering the RX is a 2-ton SUV, it accelerates briskly with an estimated 0 to 100 km/h time of around 10 seconds. The 8-speed auto gearbox can be shifted manually, but is best left to its own devices, reacting seamlessly to throttle inputs and offering good mid-range tractability. Cruising at the legal limit is effortless, which suits the sleek, luxurious and refined image of the vehicle to a T. It's taken Lexus a long time to shed its image of being little more than an expensive Toyota. The engineering and the execution have always been top-notch, but the cars lacked individuality and finesse. This latest RX350 displays a character and a confidence that breaks the boring mold and proves that Lexus has finally come of age. Bold styling, a meticulously crafted interior, high comfort levels and a surprisingly engaging drive are some of the plus points of this latest and greatest Lexus RX. A willing V6 and smooth 8-speed auto gearbox ensure swift and agile dynamics, while all-wheel drive adds composure where needed. The V6 gets a little noisy at the limit and the boot is small for such a big vehicle, but the overall package convinces.